You already know about the $1,200 second stimulus check. Well, get ready for an additional $1,200 second stimulus check now being proposed. Hey, good afternoon. This is LALATE. Hope you are good and safe. Thanks for tuning in. This is a second stimulus check and stimulus package update. And hope you are healthy and safe. This is our second of 3 second stimulus check updates. Earlier today, we detailed shocking news about when the stimulus package would be likely approved. I'll drop that in the links above. And later today, we're detailing more questions and answers about PUA and UI. But let's get right to the shocking details of the Reopening America by Supporting Workers Business Act of 2020. It's an additional new second stimulus package that was proposed just days ago. And how does it work? Well, you all have heard about the $1,200 second stimulus check. We explained in detail that a second stimulus check will be coming to you of $1,200, or could be $2,000, or could be multiple weeks of $2,000, either 6 weeks or as far as the pandemic extends. But how about an additional $1,200 check on top of that? That is the current proposal, and it's coming just days ago. It's suggesting that it wants to deal with workers who go back to work who are no longer on PUA or don't qualify for PUA or don't qualify for UI. And a lot of viewers have been asking that question. Some have been picking up some hours and they don't know if they still will get PUA benefits. Like they picked up 10 hours of work last week, or they picked up 20 hours of work, and they say, hey, LA, do I still get PUA benefits? Do I still get UI benefits? And sometimes they realize they don't because they made too much that week. Well, the current bill that I'm talking about, the Reopening America, wants to give you a nice fat check. $1,200 or 2 checks of $600. The proposal was unveiled just days ago, and it suggests that some people are getting back to work but need additional help. Now, we all know about the Portman plan that is proposing $400 per week if you go back to work, even in a limited capacity, and you don't have enough hours, you don't have enough income from that limited capacity work. He wants to give you $400 additional on top of your going back to work salary. This is a additional or counter proposal. It depends on whether they work together or they'll work or one will be passed and the other one won't be passed. It proposes $1,200 payment to entice unemployed workers back to work. It will eventually be a back to work incentive for workers who return back to work before the end of July, allowing them to keep their unemployment benefits either as a one-time $1,200 payment or additionally as 2 $600 payments on top of what they're getting to work. Kevin Brady, who's a Republican, authored the bill. He says, quote, for us to rebuild our economy, we must make sure that Americans can get back to work in a safe and healthy environment. Through a return to work bonus, which allow workers to keep up to 2 weeks of unemployment benefits if they accept a job, we can make sure that these temporary jobs don't turn into permanent ones. So there you go. Temporary job losses don't turn into permanent job losses. So how does that work, and what is he suggesting? If you don't recall, the CARES Act passed in March gives you $600 additionally from the federal government into the month of July for every week that you're impacted. So if you're on PUA or you're on UI, you know that you're getting $600 from the federal government on top of your normal state UI benefits every single week. Well, what happens when that expires? What happens when you go back to work? What happens with that $600? Kevin Brady wants to propose to give you 2 more $600 if you get back to work, even in a limited capacity, starting in July. It's quite interesting, and there's pluses. It's great news. It's wonderful, good news. But I want you to understand that this is first on top of any second stimulus check payment for you. So that's what's really good news about it. It's $1,200. It's on top of the $1,200 second stimulus check or $2,000 second stimulus check. It does not replace UI or PUA benefits. It simply extends them an additional 2 weeks. It's counter to the Portman plan, which proposes to give you $400 plus per week every single week for several weeks if you are back at work in some limited capacity. This one, however, gives you more money faster. So it gives you $1,200 in a one lump sum, or $600 over 2 payments. Now, here is the counter argument to it. How about people who don't have a job to go back to? That is why this channel has been detailing extensively PUA and UI in our third second stimulus check update every day. And I really do believe, and viewers always ask me all the time, what is going to happen to that $600 come July? I absolutely, positively believe it's going to continue. It doesn't make sense, and it's really political suicide for any elected official to think that people who are unemployed, in a state of unemployment, in a recession, should not get assistance from the federal government come July because they're unemployed. It doesn't make sense. Moreover, what doesn't make sense is that the $600 from the federal government pays a lot of other people that absolutely need it. That includes COVID patients. If you contract COVID-19, let's say this month, or let's say next month, with cases on the rise, you should be entitled to that $600. That's what the $600 was to provide for. Also, if you can't get to your place of work because there's a shutdown again, or you're taking care of a COVID patient, there's reasons why that $600 has to be there. So please understand, this is really good news, that the proposal by Representative Bradley is not something that really works in a vacuum. And don't think that it would annihilate the $600 from the federal government, which I think is going to be extended past the month of July. It simply says that, hey, if you are the people who actually are fortunate enough to have some type of job to eventually go back to, we want to reward you for going back to the job. Ultimately, there's a lot of debate on both sides. And here, let's talk about some of the debate. And here comes some of the questions and comments from yesterday's second stimulus check update. 89 of them. We detailed yesterday the more elements about the grants, about the other proposals, and how you can use money in ways you don't normally use it. And these were the reactions. Sean O'Neill, love this show. Solo here. Talk about grant. They didn't have it on file. Still processing. Yes. If you're new to this channel, what I do is I detail breaking news literally by the minute. So something is announced, if it's a grant or a loan, free money, I will literally tell you the moment it's announced. Understand that some of these things are not underwritten. They're not available that day. The application window may be, may start 2 weeks from the date of my recording. But my job is to keep you informed. And you know why? Because we all know that these things have diminishing funds. It's important for you to know from this channel, by subscribing and liking to it, that of what is in the pipeline, what is coming up. So when it goes live, you're ready to pounce and get that money. I should make a t-shirt out of that. Ready to pounce and get the money. Mimi McShane, sounds entirely for a lot of people. Peggy, oh, you need a spiked collar for that intro. Oh, my goodness. Kevin Lee, love the kick-ass theme music. Well, thank you, Kevin Lee. Mahali, buddy, I love your channel. Robert Dunham, rather a check. A lot of people just want checks. Now, you're going to get a second stimulus check, but all the other packages, whether it's a hazard pay of $13 per hour on top of your normal hourly rate, or it's the forgiveness of student debt, or the extension of forgiveness of student debt payments, or it's a credit that you can use to get a tax refund. There's a lot of things out there, and don't think that the federal government is just going to write you only checks and nothing else. They will certainly give you a second stimulus check, but the rest of the stimulus package may come in different types of financial instruments. Blue skies, can you rent a place for a month in your favorite place and then will that cover it? Tim Wilson, bombshell right out the gate. Mimi McSwain, love the intro. James Gordon has a question about Uber and Lyft. I'll do that on PUA. James, thank you for great afternoon, great reporting. Have a great first day of summer. Well, thank you. Samantha Donald, promoting hospitality in restaurants. You have to understand that ultimately elected officials are going to do things for different constituents. And in a second stimulus package, there's going to be certain lobbyists work to get their stuff approved for their individual groups. So if you're an iron worker, or if you're a labor union worker, or you're an auto manufacturer, you're in Detroit, there's going to be things that are niche. Or niche, however you say it. And the job of this channel is to tell you everything. And you may not like it, but don't hit me because I didn't write the bills. What about people who do short form taxes? This is all very fascinating. They were talking about this a few days ago. It's only a proposal. Yes, I talk about everything, whether it's passed or not passed. Congress said that all the viewers go to LALATE, Webbo, and unrecognized life insurance. Nesta Camacho. Miguel the Bronx, you should run for Congress. Maybe I should run from Congress. Samantha, if we weren't so critical, we would get nothing in 2008. Very well said. Lilo Zuniga, crossing my fingers. Thanks you, LALATE, for all the knowledge. I'd be so lost if I worked with you. Well, thank you. That's very kind. The Albert, knock it if you don't have a job. Absolutely. This channel is detailing everything for people who don't have a job, for people who have a part-time job, for people who have a independent contractor job, for people who have a W-2, and you're all gonna say, "Why you always mention Macy's?" I gotta use some example. So don't hit the reporter because I'm only detailing something for small business and you're a W-2, or I'm reporting something for W-2 and you're small business. I'm reporting everything. Okay, there we go. Political Lil, if you want to explore America during a pandemic, you can get COVID on yourself. Well, there we go. That's a little shady. We all love some shade. And coming up, second stimulus package update on PUA and UI. You dropped a lot of really great questions, and I will give a hint on what's coming up later today. Because we all love it. We all love like a cliffhanger. Here's a cliffhanger about PUA and UI later today. One viewer was mentioning in his or her state that he or she got PUA and UI. And I said, that sounds strange. I don't think you can do that. Well, another viewer jumped in the comments and said, oh yeah, you can do it everywhere. Absolutely untrue. In fact, it's illegal. So that tidbit, you like that cliffhanger? Coming up later, second stimulus check on PUA and UI. All your questions answered, and they're good ones. As always, stay with LA for more.